My name is Rachel Fairley, and welcome to week one of the President Summit. So I've introduced myself, but I'm gonna let the other ones also introduce themselves. So Tana Early, she's a Lieutenant Governor of the Champion Division. Then you also have our District Administrator Kyle Pierce. Also coming with us is Zarian Morris. He's our District Secretary / Treasurer. Also, Gus, he's actually the Lieutenant Governor of the Capital Division. And Don today is the Lieutenant Governor of the, Valley Division. Josh Panger couldn't be here tonight, but he will be at the other webinars. So tonight we have broken up the summit into 4 sections. First is the duties of the president. Second is membership. Third is district / international updates. And lastly is technology. So this week we kind of taken a broad approach, and we're going to start with the duties of the president. In the coming weeks, we will have webinars that are more in depth with information and resources. So this is kind of like the broad overview. The PowerPoint that was sent to you guys has obviously the broad overview of the points we will be highlighting tonight for this evening. Also, there's a comment section on the side. You can put like any comments you may want to ask. I will not be answering those comments during the webinar, but they will be answered in an email or a video after the webinar is finished, maybe in a couple days after. So without further ado, I would love to start week one. So in the presentation, what is your role as a president? So first and very importantly, assigning and delegating tasks. This is important to not only like being a president, but having a successful club. Assigning tasks and delegating them puts less like hardship on your part. It is very difficult to be a president and think you have to do all the work. That should not happen. In the club, when I was president, not only did my secretary help, my treasurer, my VP, everything is kind of laid out for the club meetings, so that it's kind of ran smoothly. So don't ever think this is all on you. You have so many people to help you out. Also, identify club committee structure. This is very important for individual clubs. It's kind of how you want to work your club structure and how you want to have committees. Some club works differently. They may not have like all the committees that a bigger club may have. It's just how your club works. Having committees, they can kind of do the background work, so your board isn't always hassled to always have to have fundraising projects or service projects to get that information for you. So like I said, it's really based on how your club works. You should really talk to your board on how you want to relay this information, but club committee chairs and everything is very, very helpful. Another point to make as your role is to recognize your member accomplishments. One thing that members like, they want to come in and listen to what you have to say, but acknowledging those members that go to service events, put in the hours, put in the dedication, making sure that they're seen as an individual and not a group of people. That's what keeps them coming back. So make sure that have a service individual of the month, or fundraising individual of the month. Making sure that they know that they're important is key to having members. Another thing to educate yourself on your club bylaws. They may be very dated, and you may not be sure on what your club has accomplished so far, and it just may be very dated, as I said. So looking at your bylaws, talking to your board, and obviously if you're not sure on how to do that, you have a district board, a district administrator, you have so many people to help you out. So I would look at your bylaws as a club and see what you've accomplished since they have been written the first time, and maybe updating them for the future. It'd be very helpful for your club and us as a district. Also, Kiwanis connections. As a district, we have not really had many Kiwanis connections as I would have loved to see. So not just sticking in the realm of Circle K International, but branching out to Key Club, Builders Club, K Kids, Actions Club, and obviously Kiwanis, making sure that we just don't come to meetings, just do service events just with ourselves. Invite the entire K family to come represent and volunteer as a whole entity. I haven't seen it in the past 2 years, in the amount that I want to see it. So that's a big step that I want you as presidents to look at and to hopefully incorporate that into your year of service. Your lieutenant governors and I, and Zarian Morris, who's your district treasurer / secretary, we're always if you need help. Don't think you're on your own. You have so many people to fall back on. All right, next slide. We have plan, board, and club agendas. So this is important so that when you come into any situation, any club or board meetings, you have written out statement of what you want to happen. Because if you just come in with nothing planned, you're there for 2 hours and you've accomplished half as much of what you could do if you would have come in, 7, 10 points. We're going to make this happen. We're going to assign roles and be done. So always have an agenda. Just saying, how many service events you want to have this month? Who are we going to give that service event, chair information to? Just kind of being planned to plan out your meetings. Plan for committees also. I know in my club, we've learned that our committees kind of need a direction, and not just saying, oh, your service committee, you go do whatever you need to do and just come back to me with information. Like, give them direction of what your goals are as a club and what you want to see, and help them organize what they need for what you need to be done. Because it's very difficult for individuals just to go out there and not know what to do. Just as you as presidents, we're having this webinar. I'm kind of showing you the ropes. Kind of show them the ropes of what you want to happen in your club. Also, coordinating officer elections. I'm not sure how you kind of do the transition from being prior to being, hopefully that we can help you do this in a more organized manner. There is a layout that is also in the materials that we will be sending you guys, a layout of how to do it in an organized way that's been, passed by, boards. That is the correct way to retire your old board and to reinstate your new, or instate your new board. That will be given to you guys. It's pretty straightforward of what you want to do. At UAB, we usually have somebody who's not going to be elected into the board, just kind of being the person and, coaching them on how to do it so that it's kind of smooth, because it will be a long, drudgery situation if you just don't plan it well. So we have that resource for you guys. Something we are implementing is once a month presentation insight with your lieutenant governor. So I know you guys make presentations for your clubs. What I want to happen is once a month, you have a video call, or you can just send your presentation through email to your lieutenant governor. They can see how you are, organizing your club meetings, if you've put in videos or propaganda that we need as a club to get out there to, all the viewers that we have as members. Just making sure that, it's kind of, lively and interesting for our club members to see. And if you need a little help and guidance, that's what we're here for. So your lieutenant governor will get back with you to make sure that you kind of implement this, sending, one presentation a month to make sure you're still on the same ball, you're still rolling. Also, service events. We want to see, I know some clubs are having problems, getting certain service events and having them, each month or every other month. So what I'm trying to implement is having, a large scale service project every 1 to 2 months, small scale service projects throughout the semester and year, and individual projects for maybe one person to go to that they want to stay going to. it kind of keeps the service hours flowing, and also gives your members, ample volunteer opportunities to, find. We had some concern that you could not find them, like I said previously. Talk to your lieutenant governors. They can come back to me. We can find stuff for you guys. You don't have to go do it yourselves. You have direct lines to the district board. So don't think you're on your own, and don't think this is just so much work. As we said before, you have committees, you have the board, you have a lot of outlets. So this, every, and kind of keep it honestly every week, every other week. Have a small scale kind of project that you may have, or like an individualized project. Maybe I want to go to a nursing home and stay there, and just keep it as my one thing I want to do. Kind of make that happen. Make sure that your members understand we're working for them, each individual member. Also, your role as president is contacting organizations for service events, learning how to talk to them and get you certain events that you want. So an example I'm going to lay out is, if I want to work at the zoo, I'm not going to just please want to volunteer for one day. Do your research. Maybe they have a Halloween bash and they need volunteer members. Well, email or call the individual who's over the event to say, hey, we want to volunteer at the Halloween bash on this date. Do you have room for 10 to 12 people or 20 to 25 people? It depends on how big your club is. But do your research, because people are more obligated to give you the position if you kind of give them a direction. But I mean, if there's a broad outlet, they we can have service anytime, then just email somebody and say we have service volunteers and we would love to come volunteer anytime if you have a position open. So moving on from that, board of director meetings. As stated before, having a planned agenda is very important, because these meetings can range from 45 minutes to 2 hours, and it can range from being very productive to being you didn't get anything done at all. So having a planned agenda of things that you want to happen in your meetings is very important. And if you don't know how to plan an agenda, that's what we're here for. We can, guide you if you've never planned one before, nor know how to plan. Sorry, excuse me. Nor know how to plan one. We can help you guys. The worst thing is to say that, oh, let's have a meeting today, or next Wednesday or next Friday. That gives people the opportunity to be like, oh, I can't make it. Oh, I can't come that day. So be consistent where they have the responsibility, they have it marked on their calendar to come on, Sunday, 5 p.m. in the library. We have a study room that's locked, each and every Sunday, as I said. Just kind of be consistent so that they're obligated and they're responsible to come. Also, how often you should have your meetings. So some boards don't want to have a meeting each week, which is understandable. It may be overbearing. Maybe have it bi-weekly, but no less than monthly. If you're going to, talk to your lieutenant governor or talk to me, we need to know how you guys are doing, maybe on a monthly basis. Waiting 2 to 3 months for a board meeting is not good. We don't have a fresh understanding of what you guys have been going through. So no less than 1 month between having your executive board meetings or board of directors meetings. Also, when you are leaving your meetings, when everything is done, to do objectives and goals for the next meeting to have accomplished. That's a big thing that I'm pretty sure most of you have been doing, but some of you may not have been doing. That's how we're going to stay productive this year. Always give them something to do and something to look forward to the next meeting. Always give goals, give objectives, and then just something to do each time you leave a meeting. So you have pretty much your agenda will be typed up for your next meeting because you have given them direction of what to do. That's pretty much it for the board meetings. I think we're going to move on to club meetings. Okay. So club meetings, as I said before at the very beginning of the summit, delegate your tasks. You don't have to be the one sitting at the podium, clicking the button, talking the entire time. You can be, the person who's talking for a good 15 minutes. Somebody's at the computer, clicking through, kind of delegate your tasks so everything works smoothly, so it doesn't look, and it's less pressure on you. Also have weekly goals. Have something that your members can look forward to when they're coming to meetings. Maybe that's something like, service events that are coming up or fundraising events that are coming up. Just give them goals to look forward to for the next meeting and also this meeting. Just as your executive board meetings or board of directors, have a meeting time, location, and day just set. Because it's many, or if they just come in an empty room because they don't know where to go. And that's happened in some of my meetings sometimes personally when I was president. And that's something that the new president is doing a very good job of, is trying to get, one location, and if not, trying to get one location as, most as possible. Just so consistent with your meeting locations. And if you have, 1 to 2 different locations, make sure that your members know. Send out emails, give them the list of dates and locations so that they know where to go and what time to meet. Also, in your meetings, make sure that you kind of, push your next service event. I know Tana has a little splurge, but she does at UA. So I'm going to go ahead and let her talk about what she does.
Hi guys, my name is Tana Early. I'm Lieutenant Gunner for the Champion Division. I attend the University of Alabama. In our club, we structure our club kind of uniquely, I think, and it works pretty well for us. So in our club, every service project that we do has a chair. So for example, if there's a regular club member who really has worked with either like the Boys and Girls Club, per se, and they love the Boys and Girls Club, they have great connections with the people who run the Boys and Girls Club in your community, then they can go in the club and present service projects. So say they want to have a service project at the Boys and Girls Club one day, they then become the chair of that service project. The chair is then responsible for recording hours for people who show up, planning the event, presenting it at club meetings. That one's really big for us because again, what Rachel was talking about like kind of spicing up your club meetings and not having you talk the whole time. It gets more people out there and it feels a lot more like it's less of a huge club and more like you're all friends, and everybody gets a chance to try to do some leadership in there. So it's a really cool way that we structure our service events. And if you want to learn more about it, I can drop my email or somewhere, or you can DM me in the President's Group me, and I can tell you more about it if you're interested. So I think that was it. Rachel, was there anything else that you wanted me to talk about there?
I think you are good. What I really like about what they do at UA, it gives everybody the opportunity to lead. So you kind of give individuals who may not, take that leadership role, to give them something to do in the club. Especially they may be shy, but they may be very excited about a certain event. It kind of gets them out their shell. So that's maybe something to think about. Another point for club meetings is to show district videos at meetings. We will be sending, governor videos for like ALA, DCON. We want you to show these videos to your members because we want to make sure that we have a direct contact with our members. I don't want to be like, oh, I'm the governor, like I don't know any of you, and I don't want to seem like that kind of individual. I want to make sure that there is a direct line to me, to an individual member. So showing me videos can get kind of insight. It kind of revamp your meeting, maybe give something a little bit exciting, because we're very funny people, by the way, so we're going to make them exciting. But videos to your members, just something different that we're doing this year. Also, another thing at club meetings, we really do this at UAB, icebreakers. I think we do one every single meeting unless it gets extremely late. But it's just something fun, a little fellowship at the end of your meeting. I would do it at the end. So like, you know, I mean, it depends on your members, I guess, but we usually do them at the end. Just something fun to do to get everybody up and energized. So depending on you and how your meetings run, you can do it before or after, but icebreakers are really fun to do, and it kind of gets people to not only know their members, but to come out their box if they're never sure. You know, some people sit in the corner and don't want to talk to anyone, but once you're doing an icebreaker, they're up and moving and talking and smiling. So I very much push doing icebreakers during your meetings. Next slide. Promoting this year, you have a club, you know, event, fundraising, anything. Take pictures, take videos, you know, so that we can put them in our newsletter. We can put it on Instagram, Snapchat, Facebook, any platform that we have. We want to broadcast you guys. So if you don't send us that information, we can't, you know, put it anywhere. So we're finding better effective ways. Such a hassle, but please do, like, you know, let your board know we have district, you know, Facebook, Instagram, and let them follow us, because you get updates about ALA, you'll get updates about DCON, any like district service event or divisional service event that we may have, just different things that we promote on our social media. Also showcase a plan for next meeting. So I know I'm talking about my school, but at UAB, like at the very end, we kind of had, like, you know, maybe 4 bullet points of the highlights of our next meeting, of what people can expect for the next week, or the, you know, if you do bi-weekly meetings, just so they know what they're going to be expecting. And what I would also push is, if your secretary is taking minutes, make sure, you know, to all your members, because not everybody can make it to all of your meetings. And it is very crucial that, you know, they know that, you know, Monday, April 4th, we're going to, you know, Red Mountain Park, and we're going to volunteer there at 6, you know. Just make sure that you get all the information out so they know where to go, where to be, and they're updated. Also, effective club, like, speech. I know, like, at the very beginning when I became president, I don't think I had a huge problem, but I had to learn how to speak in front of people. It's very effective if, you know, you have somebody who you trust and maybe get a couple other people and just kind of, like, you know, have, you know, them listen to your speech when you present, you know, what you're doing. I know Dawn had something to say about this, so I'm going to hand it over to Dawn for the time being.
Hey guys, so I'm Don. I'm the Lieutenant Governor for the Valley Division. Hi. So when it comes to effective speech giving, really all you have to remember is that really no one's perfect. You know, seldom is there a time when, you know, someone just starts out being good at public speaking. So when you're about to go up to your group, you know, remember that as long as you know what you're talking about, you'll do just fine. You know, if you need it, you can have some notes, some slides to remember your talking points. You know, all really general stuff. Okay, so just remember these 3 things. I hope you're taking notes, by the way. So 3 things. First, no one is a perfect speaker, okay? 2, if you make a mistake, forget something, or stutter, I have a problem with that, the audience is very likely not to notice. And 3, practice makes okay. No, practice does not make perfect. Now, it doesn't matter if you practice 100 times or memorize all your lines, you'll likely mess up somewhere. So just learn what you have to say and, you know, say how it feels right to you. I mean, as long as you know what you're talking about, you'll do just fine. Yeah, and that's all I got.
Thank you, Don. And I mean, this webinar is a great example of me not having perfect speech. I say, I mix up my words, and like Don, I stutter a lot. So nobody's perfect. Just know that you're getting that information to them. That's all. You know, I kind of make it a public thing. I'm like, oh man, I can't speak today. You know, maybe make it funny. That's how my club kind of related to me, I just kind of made my club meetings kind of funny, especially I messed up a lot. But like I said, I had great, board members that helped me and corrected me honestly. They corrected me a lot. But as he said, nobody's perfect. So don't think that you're on blast, calm down a little bit. You're just as human as anybody else. You're gonna make a couple of mistakes. And I have a lot during this webinar, so you're just fine. Well, I think that is good on club meetings. So we're gonna talk about like lieutenant governor's role, the district secretary's role, just role of your district board. I'm not exactly sure if you all know like how that works. So like for one, my position, I come see you like twice in the year, just to make sure, y'all see my face, you know who I am, and I'm not just like, a ghost. I want to make sure that I'm not just a fly on the wall. I'll be very, interactive with all the members. I'd love to come to any events that y'all have possible. I'm like a voice of advocate. I like talk to, the Kiwanis and international for you guys. Like I'm that kind of person who, make sure your voice is heard. So your lieutenant governor, their role in the club is they visit your meetings pretty regularly, more than I do. They, help plan divisional socials to make sure that you guys get to see each other, because that's one big thing I'm implementing this year, that we have, socials to see each other, because I feel like, maybe the previous years, we've only seen each other ALA, DCON, sometimes international convention if some of us can come. So divisional socials, and maybe even the district social, we never know. Just to come together, to have fun with each other, to see each other more, because I feel like that is crucial in our fellowship. Also, your lieutenant governors can help plan divisional service events. That's another thing that we want to work on, because I don't think we've had big divisional service events in all of our divisions. And then, once y'all create a divisional service event, you can ask people from other divisions to come, and it's all planned and beautiful. So that's one big thing that we want to put forth this year. And the big position they have is that they're the liaison to me. You talk to your lieutenant governor, get as much information you can, because they tell me, this is going wrong in this club, we can help fix it. So make sure that you have a good connection and relationship with your lieutenant governor, because that's how I get the majority of my information, is from them. So your district secretary, treasurer, which is Zarian Morris, he kind of records and files all your monthly reports, and he's going to make a more concise way so it won't be so jumbled, helping making a district calendar to make sure that you guys have certain events that all of us can see. So if we have this one calendar for July, you see that USA is doing, an event downtown, or UAB is doing something, or UAH. Like you have all the opportunities in front of your face at one time, so you know exactly where to go and what to do. Also, he can answer any questions, especially with your secretary/treasurers, regarding monthly and international report submission. Zarian was my my secretary/treasurer in my club board. So he's very well versed on how it works and, the connections that he has. So if there are any problems that your secretary has, don't hesitate to be very funny. So do that. And lastly, on here, I have district administrator. So that's Kyle P. We have other district administrators, honestly. Like there's a whole layout of individuals, and they kind of, run everything, in the behind scenes, structure of ALA and DCON. They kind of, call around to get the best rates. So they're kind of like the background, like the backbone of our organization, to really help us, make events possible, or educate us on what we need to do to make y'all's clubs better. So that's kind of like the structure of the district board. Next is, well, I'm not going to be presenting, so Gus is actually going to be presenting this part. Gus?
There you go. Can you guys hear me? All right, let me know if it gets too loud because I am at a Starbucks because I'm in the middle of moving. So, so a couple more things about sort of Kiwanis in general and sort of the structure, particularly from international all the way down. The very top, we have international president, which is Laura Belmont now, recently elected. Right below her, she's got her vice president, and then she's got the trustees, which our trustee, Subregion G, Billy, I don't know his last name, but if you haven't met Billy, look forward to meeting Billy because he is...
His last name's Hackett.
Hackett, thank you. Billy Hackett. He's a hoot and holler, so he is super fun. And he's gonna be super hands-on. I'm absolutely positive at this point. Right under that, of course, is Rachel, and then your lieutenant governors. So that's kind of the sort of the progression all the way up to international president from you guys. If you guys have any issues with any part of it, you guys can go to the next branch. It's all that is public. You know, their emails, all that stuff. You can email them directly. Everybody's going to answer you pretty quickly. Next up, like club officer duties and responsibilities. We've actually got a really good source for that on the CKI resources page. And if you guys haven't checked out the resources page, just go on there for 45 minutes and just browse all of it because it's a lot more than you think is there. Don, I know, is really happy about that because he's international marketing. So it's a great resource for anything that you guys have any questions on or anything like that. They've got something on there for you. So the next thing I want to talk about, I know is everybody's favorite, which is budgeting. It's sort of the most tedious part of the job, but it's also how you guys stay out of jail. So it's probably the most important part of the job as well. A couple of things that you should really think about when you're making a budget or thinking about making a budget is, you know, what should you make a budget for? You know, who should make the budget? Who should you show the budget to? Who can you ask for help? Being a Kiwanis organization, you know, there's a ton in your local Kiwanis club, you know, lawyers and you know, people in business who know how to make a budget, who know how to work this kind of stuff, who are considerably better than any of us at it. I can guarantee that. What should you budget for? Everything. Anything you spend money on, you should budget for, period. Stick to the budget. It's the part that keeps you out of jail. So, sort of making the budget, it depends on your structure, your club structure. I know a lot of people would want and expect the treasurer to do that, but that's kind of something I think that a president should do. I think that maybe you should get some help from your treasurer, but I think that's a pretty important job to leave, and not to make it sound like your treasurers are incompetent or anything like that, but you know, you guys need to step up and make those budgets yourself. Let's see what else we got. So I've on the next couple slides, I've done a couple of sort of faux budgets. An example of a really terrible budget. This is awful. You know, for your budgets, you want to be very professional with it. You want it to be very clear what's going on. So as you can see, like I used this just a stupid font on it. You don't want to be doing that. You don't want to be generalizing either like this, where you've got entertainment, you've got snacks and that kind of stuff. You want to be as specific as possible. That's the whole point of the budget, is to be as specific as possible. I don't know if you guys noticed too, there is also some mathematical errors, which, you know, that happens a lot. I've done it before too. So just make sure you get as many eyes on it as possible. Make sure that you know what the budget is for. Like this one, for example, just no title or anything like that. That's sloppy. It's very unprofessional. So this is if I ever see a budget like this, I will slap the person who gave it to me with the budget. I'll print it out and I'll slap them right in the face. Yeah, no, that's, and there are budgets like that. I have seen budgets like that. I've seen budgets from international that are like that, which is completely unacceptable. On the next page, there's sort of a better budget. It's not a perfect budget by any means, but this one is certainly more acceptable. You've got a good, what it's for. So this one's for a wash party where you'll have everybody just talking about wash and like talking about how they can help and how they can donate and things like that. You can see, go ahead, Tanner.
I was going to say WASH is an international charity that we work for, and it will be discussed more in depth in my week 3. So be sure to tune in that one.
Perfect. So think of this as a little teaser for that. The thing that you want to look at here is really the specificity of what's being purchased, how much it's being purchased, and the exact prices. When you're budgeting, you want to include everything that you're going to be spending money on, which includes tax, and even like if you can put your gas to pick it up and that kind of stuff on there. Totally understandable, but make sure that you are as specific as possible, down to the cent. The other thing that you really want to look out for, and I've done this too. I budgeted, and then I asked for the exact amount, which is a bad idea. You want to ask for a little bit more, just sort of a cushion room, just in case prices change, things like that. And then always, keep your receipts, attach it to the budget, put it in a file somewhere, just in case somebody has a question about it. Also, take your finished budget to the Kiwanis Club and tell them this is exactly what we're spending our money on. Just want to let you guys know, that's gonna give you an extra layer of communication for the Kiwanis, which it's appreciated by them for sure. And then I attached a couple of extra pie charts on here of sort of what your money's being spent on, your fees and such. So what international spends its money on? Most of it is travel, of course, leadership training, that kind of stuff, which is expected because they're running around the country and even the world sometimes. And again, like the marketing and promotion, you guys need to remember that's a part of this. They spend a lot of money on it, and it's very good, and it's something that's not utilized properly. I think everybody needs to go onto the resources page and then give it a look. Member services, I'm not quite sure what that is, but
That says member services.
oh, my bad, math major, sorry. And then of course conventions, that kind of stuff, administrative. We are a volunteer organization, but it's not all volunteers, so we do need to pay some people. And finally, we've got the district funds. So this is what we spend, that $8 that we charge you guys per member. This is really what we spend it on, and you can see on the left there, I've attached where our money comes from. So 57% is membership dues, that's obviously the $8 that you guys give us, and then the rest of it is Kiwanis support. So that's your local Kiwanis clubs that are helping us out with a little bit of money. The district spending, I know that seems like a lot for board meetings and officer reimbursement and that kind of stuff, but this money is going back to you too. A lot of it is going toward, like, we'll print out flyers for you guys if you need it. We'll You know, we'll purchase some things for a party if you guys are missing a little bit of funds. Just let your lieutenant governors know, because we've got a fund to help you guys out. The rest of it is pretty boilerplate stuff. Registration for decon for the board, domain registration, stuff that we kind of need. The other thing is that this is our budget that we approved. This is not particularly the budget that we used, because we've already, for the board meetings, we've already cut back quite a bit. And now with this being our president's retreat, we're cutting back quite a bit. So this is just sort of what we approved, not what we're using necessarily. And I think that is all that I have. If anybody has any questions, just, you know, send me an email. It's on the district website. Send me your budgets if you want a second opinion or anything like that. And I will hand it back to Rachel. Thanks, guys.
All right. So exactly what he talked about, district funds, honestly, it is going back to you guys. We've saved so much money. So like, you know, doing things at ALA and decon and, you know, just different stuff, it's really going, doesn't even cover for our year, because we've done so many different things to, you know, save money for the district. Lastly, it's kind of like a little, you know, sneak peek for next year. I mean, I said next year, y'all. I meant next webinar. It would be awful if we had the next webinar next year. But week 2, it will be the same thing, Sunday, 8 p.m. You know, we'll send another link. I know we had some trouble before. It was in GroupMe. We will get email for you. You know, I'll also send it in GroupMe if it's easier for other individuals. This one will be ran by Dawn and Zarian. And just a little sneak peek. Membership education we'll be going over. You see Don's excited. Recruitment, and also all these club materials y'all may not know about. So stay tuned, and thank you for the first webinar. It's been actually really great. You will be getting a SurveyMonkey talking about, you know, what you've learned, you know, what can we improve on. So that will be coming to your, you know, GroupMe very quickly. Again, thank you, and bye, you guys.